I just want to say something that I hope you'll find is funny. I was prepared to win, but I was also prepared to lose, which I've done a lot in this building. Last time I had a win here, Chris Lofton, I'd be curious how many he had, but it was in the high 20s, had a big game, and obviously Miles Kelly had a huge game tonight. But my line was going to be, every now and then when y'all have a coaching change, my name comes up. Why in the world would you ever want me to be your coach when I can't win in Rupp? That was going to be in my line. But having coached at Southern Indiana and Evansville, Indiana, having coached in Division II for a long time, y'all remember what great basketball there is in the state of Kentucky and the state of Indiana, and how y'all love your high school basketball, but you also love your Division II basketball because y'all respect the game so much. There are no more knowledgeable fans anywhere in the country than right here at Kentucky. And so there have been times I've brought really good teams in here and we've gotten spanked. And every now and then I walk away going, you know what, I thought that Pearl could coach a little bit. He can't, whatever. And so I want to bring a team in here and I want to play good basketball. I want to honor the game, whether we win or lose. And we've played well a couple times and gotten beat. But this is obviously historic. Two wins and 31 losses and 33 tries. And for this one to be for a championship, it's what we do it for, to make history. This is our fifth team in the last 8 years that has won either regular season or tournament championships. So I'm just super, super proud and super happy about that.
BP, what does it say about the depth of your team that you had no Denver in the second half, you only get 9 from Janai, and you put 94 up in here?
I think it says a lot about the culture. It says a lot about the chemistry. It says a lot about the guys calling up the Lord, giving God the glory, and trying to the best of their ability to live that life. And Denver Jones only plays 11 minutes. He's our starting point guard. He's our best defender, and he just can't go. Good news, it was X-rayed, bone bruise, so he's going to recover from it. But he's a tough kid. I was worried that he had a bone break or something. And then, look, Williams is good, and Kentucky's big guys are good. So Janai didn't have as big an advantage down there on the inside. And so we knew we were going to have to make shots against Kentucky. Why? Because if you get in there and you throw some stuff up and they block shots and they get you in transition, that's when the Wildcats are really good. They're great in transition. So we wanted to make sure that we ran our offense, didn't turn the ball over, except some bad shots with some spacing. And Miles Kelly, of course, made a couple of bad shots go in.
Bruce, you've talked over and over again about how this is the best the SEC's ever been for you guys to have clinched the league with a full week remaining. What do you think it says about your team?
Well, one of the things I said, I wanted the guys to appreciate this, is that there are a lot of really good teams in this league. Like right now, Florida and Alabama are right there on our heels. Tennessee, this Kentucky team has beaten 7 teams in the top 15. This Kentucky team has got 5 wins over the top 10. So they're obviously incredibly capable. Stephen Pearl's our defensive coordinator. Mike Burgomaster had the scout, my offensive coordinator. So those two guys put together an unbelievable game plan. Look, taking the 3-ball away from Kentucky is important. Coach Pope runs the best 5-out anywhere in college basketball. And we run some 5-out too. And because we run some, we do know how to defend it. And so we did a great job defending it. And yet we still ourselves got some great 5-out looks where both Miles and Tahad and occasionally Chad Baker got good looks behind it.
Bruce, we've seen you guys a few times kind of run that play in the first possession to get Miles an open shot. So what does it mean for his confidence in just the offense the whole getting started when he, knocks down that open shot to start the game?
Scouting is so good. I guarantee you Kentucky knew one of the first looks was going to be a screener for Miles Kelly. And, when you call that number, when you call his play early, obviously I'm sending him a message that, that we have confidence in him. And he obviously knocked a bunch of big shots down.
Bruce, all of your guys play with confidence, and it seems like that's recurring year after year. Why or how do you inject that much confidence into them?
Pat, I think that one of the things that coaches got to do, number one, it is our responsibility to get our teams to play harder and more effort and energy than the opponent. A lot of coaches don't think you should coach effort and energy. I think you have to. The second thing is, I think every player's got great strengths. Every player has got weaknesses. And my job as head coach is to put my players in positions to be successful. And when they are, they're going to have more confidence because they're going to look good at the stuff they're good at. And so I think that's part of the reason why, they play with confidence. And then the last thing would be this. The simple trade-off with me and them are bad shots, are not an issue. Take a possession off, pass on a physical play, don't sprint back in transition because you're tired. I got issues with that. But making mistakes, get to the next play.
Bruce, Tahad played basically the entirety of the second half, had to run the offense throughout. What did you kind of see from him?
I mean, Todd Pettiford has not started a game and has not said one word to any of his coaches. His family has not said a single word because he was raised right. And look, guys, there are still great stories about kids that want to be coached. They want to be held accountable. And kids that aren't, I spoil my children, but I will slap the rotten right out of them. We all spoil our kids, don't we? But we ain't going to spoil them rotten. And that's why I want to coach. And that's why I want my kids to feel they're loved. But when they do behave selfishly, or they do behave in such a way that either God's not going to bless it or it's going to bring the team down, we call it out. We call it out. And so, I mean, Todd's been great. And he's got great courage. As a freshman, the senior's done a great job kind of embracing him. And, to play the entire game and to, have Butler guarding him sometimes and not have a turnover is incredible.
Bruce, as someone who's had experience having a number one ranked team before, when you were putting this roster together, was there a point where you felt like we got a shot to be this good, or has that just been part of the journey of this season getting to this point?
It's really been the journey. I had no expectations that this team would be this good. I think one of the things about putting the roster together, a couple things. Sometimes less is more. I have 12 guys on scholarship, not 13, because I can't keep 13 happy. I have one player that's on scholarship knowing that he was going to be in practice all year, which gets us down to 11. Now, the risk you run is injury. But taking that risk, my guys are almost all my guys are playing. So when we lost Jalen Williams a year ago, who was one of our best players, we didn't dip in the transfer portal and try to go get a 5-star four-man to replace Jalen Williams. I told Janai Broom, Dylan Carwell, and Chaney Johnson, I'm empowering you guys. We're going to make this big lineup work. They were all seniors. They had all paid their dues. Whether we won or not, they had all earned the right for me to not bring in a big-time player over their head. That was when the chemistry was built. And guess what? Those guys appreciated that. And they trusted us. And then, I think you can still make great decisions in the transfer portal. Kentucky's got some terrific players at the transfer portal. They've made really good evaluations on some mid-major guys that are a little older. Denver Jones was at Florida International. Chad Baker-Mazar was in junior college. Chaney Johnson was Division II. Miles Kelly won his first championship in his life, he just told me, was at Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech doesn't win the ACC recruiting battles right now. And yet, as a guy that was going to be a fifth-year senior, he was a 3-and-D guy. And when you got some of the quality size I have in inside, to get another 3-and-D guy out there. And then the last piece is this: Chad Baker-Mazara might be our most valuable player, because I can put the ball in Chad Baker-Mazara's hands. He can shoot it, he can score it, he get it to everybody else. He is so complete in his game. Obviously, and the pieces have come together nicely.
Yeah, Bruce, I was going to ask you about Chad. Back-to-back 22-point games. You know how, obviously, physically what he's had to go through, the sickness and the injuries, just for him to catch fire like this late in the year. What does that mean for y'all as a team?
Well, he's healthy. He's healthy now. And, his dad lives and works in the Dominican as a coach, and, has spent way more time in Auburn trying to support his son. and help his son. And, families are a huge part of these young people's success, so on and so forth. So obviously it takes a village. Corey Williams, one of my assistant coaches, has developed a very good relationship, trusting relationship with Chad. One of the things Tom Davis taught me this. Tom Davis said, you got to let the players be who they are. Now, there are times when Chad is so passionate and he takes that passion and it goes in the wrong way. And it doesn't reflect necessarily well on him or on Auburn. But I'm not trying to change who he is. I'm trying to have it be a situation where he can be himself and just grow and learn. And this is the second game in a row he hasn't got a technical foul. We're making progress.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you.